When you're on the Tollway, peace of mind is just a call away. With the Illinois Tollway Star 999 service, help is always at your fingertips. Whether it's a flat tire or an unexpected breakdown, our dedicated team is here to assist you anytime and anywhere on the Tollway. Drive with confidence knowing that Star 999 is just a dial away. Remember, Star 999, we're always there when you need us.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Intercepted, presented by Illinois Tollway. This week, I have the pleasure of bringing on a guest, my friend, my teammate, the hitman, TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards.
KB, what's up, bro?
Appreciate you coming
Absolutely.
on the show. So, to start this episode, vibe check, right? Lost just yesterday. It hasn't been 24 hours yet, so we truly haven't had enough time to flush. The emotions are still, kind of up and down. I want to get your thoughts on it. Obviously, your vibe, how you feel about the game. Obviously, it was another heartbreaking loss that we had, man. How you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You said it. Hasn't been 24 yet. So, I'm still, kind of in that window. But, any loss is tough. But I feel like, kind of just the ones that we've had this year are like they stand out a little bit. But, as professionals, you just got to get back to work and find a way to get something done. But, we'll figure it out.
Man, it's crazy because, like you said, think about obviously this game, and then obviously people can go back to the Washington game, like losing 2 games on the last second or just the last play. That's one thing when you really, obviously you played the ball for a while, I played the ball for a while, like you realize that like within a season, 10 to 12 plays can literally be the difference between 4-6, 6-4, 7-3. You know what I'm saying? So it's always tough, and it's always just like, they always say it's the game of inches, right? You know what I mean? So just those few plays within hundreds and hundreds of plays can swing an entire season. So it's been disappointing. Obviously, we're all disappointed in the results yesterday. Obviously, it was a division opponent. We battled. You know what I mean? I think. You look at the game in totality, man, just as a team, we battled. It was one thing I will say, it was really good to see Caleb on that last drive. Caleb really, he did the same thing in Washington, but to see him, that 3rd and 19, most people, watching the game probably was like, oh man, it's probably gonna be over with. You know what I'm saying? Throw a strike to Rome, then he threw another back shoulder to Rome. I was on the sideline,
The 4th and 2 was crazy.
4th and 2 was impressive, bro. I was on the sideline on the Rome catch, like, I don't know. I've literally had like a perfect viewpoint of it. It was like a movie. So I seen it, and I seen it. There's like the throw was coming right to me, and then like Rome perfectly came over the back shoulder. It was beautiful, bro. So yeah, man. But like you said, at the end of the day, you just get back to work.
No,
you know what I mean? Like
there's a lot of positives to take from it. I feel like that's why to me it's like the greatest game on earth, because it's literally everybody. I feel like we're getting closer. But as it goes, like this is when you want to play your best ball. So we got to show up.
Yeah, it's the game of life, bro. And whenever you're going through these type of moments, these adverse moments, for me personally, I always try to just go back and find a lesson. You know what I mean? The lesson within it. How can I grow? How can I grow as a leader, as a player? And obviously we're all getting tested right now, and just see how we're gonna respond. I think most people are expecting us to pack it up and be like, "Oh, the season's over." As a locker room, we're gonna start to splinter. But that's not nowhere near the character of the guys we have on this team in the locker room. We're just gonna be solution based. You know what I'm saying? Try to find answers. Try to continue to get better, and we still have a lot more division games left. We got a big division game against Minnesota this weekend, so we're gonna try to get a W, man. Obviously we've been playing well at home. We just dropped 2 straight, and we can't drop any more at home.
No, that's it.
Can't drop any more at home.
I'm excited, man. It's ready to get back to it.
Exactly. So so let's change directions a little bit. Obviously, having you on the podcast. So I had Cole on the podcast a few weeks ago. So it's kind of cool, kind of special that obviously both of you guys are from the city. You're from Lake. You grew up in Lake Villa, is that correct?
Yep.
Lake Villa, which is like what, 30 minutes from here?
Yep, probably a good 30.
That's pretty crazy.
That's it.
So I seen so in high school, right? Obviously you play high school ball in Lake Villa. Lake Villa Community.
Yeah, it's Lakes High School. Yep.
Lakes High School.
Yep.
You play quarterback.
Yeah, the quarterback. Nah,
Oh, it's D quarterback. Look at D quarterback. So it's funny you say that because like, and I preach this to everybody. Like, more often than not, when you see guys in the NFL on defense, more like you started in offense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And obviously, you can tell because I play quarterback starting out, but I can tell just from as a fellow high school quarterback. You know what I mean? No, honestly, just like the ability to be able to communicate, to diagnose a lot of different things. So tell me about that your high school experience playing quarterback. What was your stats? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, it was. I didn't know you played quarterback too.
Yeah, I played quarterback.
That's
bro.
interesting. Way back in the day.
Way back in the day. And we wasn't wing T either. I was actually throwing that thing. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think that's funny, but nah. I mean, I was a baseball player growing up.
Okay.
So I had a decent arm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I could move a little bit.
What'd you play in baseball?
I was shortstop, center field.
Shortstop.
Yeah.
Okay. Athlete.
I had to stop playing once I got older. I couldn't hit a curveball, man.
No, get real.
I couldn't.
Bro, I started playing baseball. Like, I think I started too late. And so, like, I played, like, 1 year of, like, Little League. And then, like, the next year, I think I was in 8th grade. And, like, bro, at first, the first league I played, it was, like, straight fastball. You know, fastballs.
Yeah.
Next year, I think I went up in age group, different group of kids. These kids throwing curveballs, knuckleballs. I quit after that.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. It gets a whole different.
From
Once it
bad
gets up there,
to bad eighth. I was like, I'm done, bro.
once you lay down a bunt for us,
couldn't even bunt. I ain't know nothing. I was trash.
Nah, it's wild. So I mean, that's kind of how I started, like just like throwing. And then I had an awesome high school coach. He kind of was like a mentor for me when I was at that age, and he was like, let's try you at quarterback. Like, let's just see. And I would say like my sophomore year is when I really started to like all right, like I could do this a little bit. We were spread, you know what I'm saying? Read option spread. We were throwing it. But no, it was awesome, man. We had a great time doing it. I played like a couple, once I started to get like recruited a little bit, I was like, all right, well, like none of these teams are seeing me as a quarterback, so I better. I'm either not that good or I gotta figure something out.
Start transitioning.
Yeah, so I played like 3 games of safety my senior year.
Got you.
And made some plays and stuff like that, and then I was committed to Western Michigan. As an athlete, I had no idea where I was going to play, and then Wisconsin came in like 4 weeks before signing day. And it was an easy flip for me, and played linebacker when I got there. That was it.
So when you were, so first you were, like I said, you was all offense, and then just to your senior, that's when you first started. Yep. So you played no defense up to your senior.
Nah, I really didn't.
So you was committed to Western Michigan. So you said you was committed as an athlete. So they didn't like have any idea like we want you to play this or that.
Yeah.
Like, what was it?
It was kind of just like see when we get there. They were like, I think defense somewhere, but they were kind of running a system where like maybe I'd kind of be outside or something like that. And then, once I started talking to the coaches, I was like, all right, I think I'm a defensive guy.
Right.
There's some schools that had me as maybe like a slot receiver, and I'm like, I don't know if you know what I'm saying. I don't know if that's me.
Hey,
bro.
to see TJ as slot receiver at college.
Toledo was my first offer, man. That's what they were saying. They were like, maybe I was like,
You ended up going to you flipped to you flipped to Wisconsin though. Late.
Yep.
How did that come about? Like, did they just come late with an offer? Like, how did that?
Yeah, they kind of came late. They honestly just like they
came
were
out of nowhere,
they were on my radar.
Okay,
they were saying like we're thinking about it. But at that point, I had no like Big Ten offers. Like all my offers were MAC schools. So I had like Toledo, Western Michigan, NIU, and then like they kind of came in late, and I was like, man, I want to go play at the highest level and all 100%. That. So whatever you want to do, I'm good. Easy decision. But yeah, they finally pulled the trigger, and I'm like, deal.
So because I'm curious, because my story was very similar. So I had more like Conference USA, Sunbelt schools and things like that. Middle Tennessee was always there. But I had Kentucky offer me during my senior season. Yeah. But they was recruit me for receiver. So I played like a bunch of offensive positions too. I was gonna play receiver. I'd have been the receiver. SEC, I'd have been a dog. I was a dog at receiver, but so what happened was their story was there was a guy. No, so this is what happened. I got offered, me and my fellow receivers, 2 receivers. We was 2 receivers at the same school. He got offered, I got offered. He committed on Thanksgiving. Damn. And so he called me, he called me and said, hey bro, like I talked to my family, like I'm gonna go ahead and commit. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, bet, I'm about to commit too. Yeah. So I called him like the next day, bro, called the coach. And it's crazy, it's T. Martin. T. Martin's a coordinator for, no, he's not, he's the quarterback coach for Baltimore right now. Yeah. So I called T. Martin and picked up the phone, right?
Oh, man.
Left him voicemail, right? So I called him back. He called me back and he told me, so he gave me the real that he ain't just like, he was like, listen, we gotta, pretty much saying like, where our receiver joints is filled up. But he said, we got a guy that's committed. He's from Alabama. His grades is trash. He's like, he's probably not going to qualify.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't qualify, you know, this spot is going to be yours. But we're going to keep recruiting you, but we just let you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just like, oh, damn, like, I'm really kind of sick right now. Because I'm thinking like, you know, obviously you want to play at the highest level. My school is like SEC. That's where you want to go.
Yep.
And
your boy just committed there.
Yeah, bro. So I'm thinking we about to go to school together. Facts. It's going to be lit. So, but then the crazy part, I went on a visit to Kentucky, and then they ended up telling me that wasn't even the case no more. They was like, well, it's this guy they're trying to get the decommit from Bama.
Oh, my God.
And so, but I didn't find out I was going to Middle Tennessee until the morning of signing day.
Damn.
Like, they kind of led me on the whole way. They was like, they don't know if the guy's going to flip and decommit.
Damn, I didn't know that.
And so it was a crazy, but that's why I was curious, because, like, did you ever find out, like, was it a reason, like, a guy decommitted or something, or were they just finally just pulled the trigger?
You know how it goes. Like, just like you said, like, you never know how that stuff is, like, actually shaking out.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, it's kind of like a numbers thing that they're kind of hoping that someone else comes. And shoot, it ended up working out. They were kind of pressing me too. They're like, you know, your grades are really good, but like for the average, we need you to like get up there. So I'm stuck, you know, I'm
you're
like
doing everything you can.
You know, and then you get to school, you're like, ain't no way he got a better GPA than me, bro. So it's wild, bro. But it worked out.
Yeah, 100% it worked out. So like I said, I was reading up on it. So you end up getting you redshirted when you first got there, and then obviously you balled out freshman year, freshman All-American team, which is dope. Two-time first team All Big Ten. All-American in your junior year. All-American junior year. But you go undrafted, bro. Like, I'm like, what's the story behind that? Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, All-American, two-time, first team. This is Big Ten, you know, Big Ten football linebacker. Like, it's where linebackers are born and bred at.
That's
you know
it,
what I mean?
That's it.
How did you go undrafted?
Yeah, man, it's
or
wild.
Or do you even know? Like, I'm sure it's like,
I mean, you know, I think, like, so going into I had a great junior year. You know, like Buck is finalist, all that. I lost to Roquan that year. And I was debating on, like, leaving or coming back. But I'm like, you know, in college, you got all your boys and stuff. And I was like, I want to finish this thing out right. So stayed my senior year, which was incredible. I'm thinking that I'd probably go somewhere like middle round of the draft, you know, being real. I'm not going to go out there and run no 4.4. Like, that's just what it is. And, you know, I think that's kind of what really dropped me. You know, I think people didn't think I could run.
Wow.
You know, I couldn't think I'd do it sideline to sideline. And, you know, I remember that day, just sitting there, all your boys are getting drafted too, like guys on your team that are getting drafted, and you happy for them, but you're like, you're sick. You know, I had some people there, you know, with me, you know, obviously to support me and all that, and I'm just like looking around like, damn, it's tough right now.
Yeah.
It's tough in here.
And so did you have like a big draft party, or?
I had probably like 20 people, like at my house to watch it. And you know, I was upset, but my parents were more upset than me. You know, they're snapping, trying to figure. That's how it goes. But you know, ended up getting an opportunity from Philly, and honestly, it put such a huge chip on my shoulder, like on every team. That's just like, you know, you didn't think I was good enough.
Exactly.
And so I get to show you why. And honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world.
No, 100%. I mean, obviously, and that's where I just feel like in today's football, there's not enough football guys that's like making some of these decisions. You know what I mean? Like, everything is so based upon like these numbers and analytics of like, like at the end of the day, like, you was a freshman All-American, two-time, you know, first team All Big Ten and All-American, and you're going drafted because, we don't think this guy can run a 40. Cut on the tape. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cut on the tape, and let's see if this guy can play ball. And obviously that was a foolish decision from all 32 teams passing on you, but obviously you got a great opportunity in Philly.
Absolutely.
Took advantage of that opportunity for sure. Made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Obviously didn't win that. But
obviously,
I didn't mean to say it like that, but didn't win that one, which is tough. No,
it is.
Because I'm about to say, I remember we talked about it in the locker room. Like, you still haven't even watched that game.
No,
still haven't watched it.
No, I haven't watched the tape. I don't think I ever will.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like you get all the way to the end. You know what I'm saying? And you lose. It's like we're just going to think about this. You know what I'm saying?
Which is
crazy.
Season,
but you know what I mean. So you had a really good career in Philly. Talk about, you know, you going to free agency, like, what was that process for you? Because I think everybody in the league, the team that picks you up, the first team that you go to, you want to stay there your whole career. More often than not, you want to stay your whole career.
100%.
But you had to move on from Philly after 4 years. What was that like? What was that offseason like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was wild, you know. And for me, first time in free agency, you have no idea like what that even is about. And you know, just kind of as Philly brought me in and like built me up, I kind of wanted to stay there.
Yeah.
It's the place that brought me in. I felt like I finally found my role, and it ended up, they thought otherwise, and that's how that goes. But I think I learned a lot from it. I just feel like I had so many people supporting me too and trying to help me through, just talking to vets and stuff like that who've been through the process and everything like that. And honestly, when I heard Chicago was an option, I was like, man, that's big time.
100%.
From the hometown. And once I knew, the Philly door was kind of closed, it was definitely easy to get here for sure. For sure.
So was it like, obviously Chicago is sure it's a dream, you know what I'm saying, to be able to come back home and play. Were there any other teams that you were looking at as potential fits or options, or was it like once you heard Chicago, it was like that's where I'm locked in at?
Yeah, I mean, it was, you look at so many different factors, right? You look at kind of, the team feel, like where I'd fit in the scheme, things like that. But for me, like I'm such a guy who came in just with an opportunity, and I wanted an opportunity where, I had some type of respect in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to feel that the team feels like they need you. And I felt like that's kind of what it was here.
Yeah.
And there's some other teams, some other teams that were thinking about it. Pittsburgh was one, some other teams, but this was a team where I had to see what this was about.
Exactly.
I really did. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you think about just the history. Playing linebacker in a city like Chicago, and then bonus, like I said, this is a city you're from. I've had the blessing or the opportunity to be able to get drafted in a city that I played college ball at. I moved 30 minutes up the street to go to Nashville, and then even though I got traded to Philly, that was still like a dream come true. Not only just for myself in a way, but for my family. Like for my dad to be able to see Byard on the last name of the Eagles jersey being born from Philly is like it was incredible. Even though I didn't have a long stay there, it was incredible. Talk about just that opportunity or just the blessing to be able to come back home and put Edwards on a Chicago Bears jersey. Probably a team you've been watching since you was growing up. What I'm saying? Talk about that.
Yeah, man, it's wild how it all kind of works out, right?
Yeah.
Like, so what's crazy is whatever. So 2 months before I signed here, my parents moved from here to Florida.
Really?
Yeah. So they moved out of our childhood home to Florida. And so when I called them, I'm like, hey, like I'm gonna sign in Chicago. They're like, nah. Like they were like, all right, we gotta get the house back. We gotta
get back.
I'm like, it's all good. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's all good.
That's crazy.
But we still have a bunch of family here, extended family and things like that. But that was funny how that kind of all worked out. But no, I mean, I grew up here, right? I grew up watching all those guys that have done so much for this city, and it's like, man, I want to go put my my print on that and see what that's about. And it's been a blessing, man. Like I truly love kind of what we're doing here and what we're building. And you only hope that you're here for long enough to see it, right?
Absolutely.
But it's been truly a blessing, man. And now my wife, what's crazy is my wife grew up in Green Bay, so she's literally from 20 minutes from Lambeau.
Wow.
So her whole family now, I converted them over.
You got to be able to say this is a divided household
I converted them over, man. So they're now all Bears fans. But it's a cool dynamic, man. It's been
that's
awesome.
crazy. You probably should have bought your childhood home, moved in there.
Nah, I can't do that. I can't do that.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about this though, because I think this is something that is kind of underrated. People don't really think about. But because I remember, like I said, being drafted in Nashville. My family was living in Atlanta, but all the rest of my family is in Philly. Being almost too close to the career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like being in Nashville, it's a 3-hour drive or whatever. But being drafted to a city like 30 minutes from my college town, all your boys, all your buddies, everybody want to pull up, do this. Like, how has that been? Obviously, you've been here, just shaking here now. How has it been being back home? What's the ticket request been like? You know what I'm saying? Or just like, how do you separate being home from childhood friends and everything, but also separating that from, this is where I'm working at. You know what I'm saying? It's obviously probably easy to do it in Philly because you're way across town, but now you're here. It's like, how do you separate that?
Yeah. I mean, and you know too, kind of how that goes. But I've had great support throughout my whole career, right? But I think coming back here was a different dynamic for me. Like you said, like when I was in Philly, it's kind of like my own little bubble. You know what I'm saying? People would come out for, a weekend, and that's about it, and things like that. But it got to the point I had to change my number. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, I appreciate it, but I can't get 50 tickets a week.
Yeah, 100%. 50 tickets is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it was something I had to, it was great growth for me, honestly, of just kind of separating, you know, the people that I have here, my family, you know, all my boys, all my friends, and kind of what I need to do on the football field.
Right.
So it took me a minute. I mean, for real, it took me, you know, a couple months to kind of get that into that flow and set those boundaries.
Right.
But it helped me, you know, learn and grow a lot. And, you know, this year it's been smooth and it's been awesome.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Because, like, when I was in just drafted to Tennessee, you know, family want to come into town every week, boys hitting you up on, you know, and then you get like the random like social media stuff, like, you know, the guy you ain't talked to in so long, they trying to get a ticket to come to a game because you think y'all just cool. But the craziest part for me when I got traded to Philly, like I said, it was such like a monumental moment just for my family, like. And I really appreciate it. My dad, he called me like the next morning. He was like, "Listen, like, I'm gonna tell you this right now, like, don't be going back over to your cousins and those houses and everything." Because, you know, I grew up in the hood in Philly. He was like, don't be going to see everybody because at the end of the day, like, you got a job to do. Like, it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, the city of Philadelphia is crazy anyway. He was just like, no, it's just like, get locked in, go to work. And I mean, I probably wasn't planning on doing it anyway, but it was really like I had to really move in a way because I'm so used to being in my work city. And then off season, you go see family and stuff like that. But just being at the crib, it's so much different.
No, it's so different, man. And I feel like you don't really realize it till you get in it. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know. And then I got, which is like, it's awesome. People want to celebrate with you and enjoy it with you. You know what I'm saying?
It's a blessing.
But it's like you got like, you know, second grade teachers and stuff hitting you up trying to get some tickets. Like, you know. But
can't do it. No, but I mean, obviously, you know, the decision you made to come to Chicago was a great one. Obviously,
awesome.
You know, you've been, you know, these past couple of years, even when I was in Tennessee and in Philly last year, just, you know, seeing you ball out and, you know, you've been playing incredible these past couple of years, man. And I mean, personally, I hope that you know, myself too as well, you know, finish our career here in Chicago. Because like you said, I mean, what we're building here is a defense and just the locker room, you know what I'm saying? The guys you have, you want to continue to play with. And, you know, we've been able to even golf together a little bit on some off days and the bye weeks and stuff like that.
Surprised me a little bit, man. You surprised me a little bit.
I got a little swing.
Got a little game. I was funny, impressed.
Because I really only started playing golf maybe, 2 or 3 years ago. And I took a few lessons. I actually need to get some more lessons in the off season. Maybe need to try to plan a golf trip in the off season. But
come on.
But no, TJ, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Man, it's been awesome.
Like you said, man, we gonna get this thing back rolling, man. We're gonna get this thing
absolutely
get this thing moving in the right direction. So, man, I appreciate you everybody for tuning in to this episode of Intercepted, and TJ has been Intercepted. So tune in next week.
Sir.
Thanks for watching Intercepted. Make sure to stay glued to the recap for new episodes all season here on YouTube.